All right, so what we are going to do today is basically a little bit more of an intro to Fusion. We are going to make a name tag. All right, so how I would recommend you do this is in your IED folder, have a folder that's labeled personal projects. So this is going to be projects that are outside the scope of specifically assignments um, that you can kind of work on. So I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to title this name tag, and I'm going to underscore it JMO. All right, so that I know that it's mine, and when I put it somewhere else, it'll be saved properly. Okay, so basically, those are my initials. All right, so we want to make sure, hopefully by now it's the case, but we want to make sure our units are in inches, all right? And we want to make sure those are default. All right, so we're going to go up to Sketch and go to the horizontal plane, and I'm going to make a rectangle that is 2.25 by 1.15. All right, 1.15 by 2.25. All right, so a rectangle. And then I'm going to finish my sketch, and I'm going to hit E for extrude, and I'm going to extrude it up 0.25. All right. So now we're going to use a tool that we have not used before, fillets. So if you click on fillet, we can click on the different edges. All right. So see how each one is highlighting. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 highlighted. Then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to give the amount of fillet, which is going to be 0.125. All right, so that's going to round the edges of all of these. All right, then I'm going to click OK. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to go here, and we're going to do one other thing. All right, so we are going to project geometry. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to create a sketch on here. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to click on create and go down to project geometry. All right, notice it's used often enough that there is a hotkey P. All right, but project geometry is super useful. So if we click on it and I just click on this, immediately what happens is see how this gets outlined in purple? It just made this edge part of the sketch, all right, which is going to be useful. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to offset. All right, so I'm going to click on offset. See how this whole thing highlights? All right, it likely would not highlight if I didn't do the project geometry first. So I'm going to click on this, hold down my mouse, the click, and I'm going to pull it in. Sometimes you have to mess around with it a little bit. So I'm going to do it again. So I clicked. If I click, all right, sorry, they updated it. So if you just click, do you see how these arrows come up? You can pull it in, and I'm going to go into a distance of 0.12. All right, so now I have a little area in here inside. Okay, I'm going to finish my sketch. And now I am going to cut this center part out. So what I'm going to do is I am going to hit E for extrude, and I'm going to bring it down a depth of 0.15. Now notice there's a negative here. So you can pay attention to the negative or just make sure the arrow is going down. All right. So now I have this shape right here. It's kind of a cutout. Okay. So what I'm now going to use is another sketch on this inner surface. Make sure it's on the inner surface right there. All right. Did you see how it flipped around? So if you want to, you can draw it like this, but when you hit the house, it's going to be backwards. So you can do that, or you can use these arrows to make it kind of back to where we wanted it to be. All right, so I am going to use the text tools now. So I'm in my sketch, so I'm going to go to create. I'm going to say text. All right, so I'm going to click and kind of put in my text box right here. All right, so when I click, I'm going to type in Go Cats. All right, so you can adjust. Nope, don't want that. Don't want that either. Ooh, that's too fancy. Should we just keep it simple? We might just keep it simple. Ooh, I kind of like that one. All right, we're going to go this one. All right, so notice it doesn't fit in there very well. So we can adjust the size. That's a little small, maybe 0.25. Okay. We can also align it and align it. All right, so you can use that to kind of put it in the middle. I might make mine just a little bit bigger. Ooh, that's too much. So then let's say I didn't like what I did. So if I double click on it, I can bring it back up. Okay. So let's go back a little bit. I didn't really, so we're just going to keep it simple and go right there. Okay. So we can kind of adjust this a little bit. Like if you're like, man, that's not big enough, we can make this a little bit bigger like this. You can also kind of adjust back and forth. You can also use the dimension tool and click to each of these and try to push it one way or the other. All right. So, but let's say I like how it looks. I think it looks okay. What I'm going to do then is right click on it. All right. So I'm not finishing my sketch yet. I have to explode the text. So basically when you explode the text, that will allow you to extrude it. All right. If we don't do that and we just hit finish sketch, when we try to, so I hit finish sketch. If we try to extrude, notice how it doesn't pop up. All right, so we're gonna go back. I'm gonna double click on this sketch. Oh no, see how it rotated around? All right, that's still fine. But if we wanted to look at it how we were looking at it before, it would be this way. All right, and now I'm going to right click on it and explode text. All right, so now instead of a text box, I literally have these shapes. All right, so finish. Now I am going to extrude this. So make sure you click on each one. Okay. And I'm going to extrude it up to the top of my, actually, I'm not going to go all the way up. I'm just going to extrude it to 0.1. All right. So now I have this. All right. So obviously you can put whatever you want as long as it's school appropriate. So you can put your name there, but I love mom, whatever. All right. So now, last but not least, we are going to make a hole for the um, chain to go through. Okay. So we are then going to make sketch in this corner. All right, so make sure you're actually clicking on that. So see how I'm moving it around? All right, I would put it up here. So find a spot that you like, and I would make it at least 0.15. If not, I probably would go 0.2. All right. And if you like where it is, you don't have to dimension it, but if you want to adjust this a little bit to make it even, you could do 0.25 and 0.25. That'll make it nice and uniform. Okay, and then I'm going to extrude that through. All right, and now we have our finished name tag. Okay, so you kind of see how we did that. All right, so we want to save it. And then what we're going to do is we are going to print these kind of in batches. So we're not going to individually 3D print these. We're going to do it a little bit more of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to this utilities button. Okay, and then we are going to click make. All right, so what pops up is basically how we are going to adjust it to a 3D print. So it's important to uncheck this box, and then I find it easiest just to click on it because we want to 3D print this whole thing. All right, and then I'm going to click OK. It's going to ask us where to save it. So I'm going to say name tag underscore JMO, and then I'm going to go to the building share, and then South Student, engineering, or sorry, IED 2023. And then, for example, if I was in period 1, I'm going to make a new folder that says name tag. All right, so then I would go in here, name tag JMO, actually, and then save it. All right, so it's always a good idea to then go back to that spot. So South Student, ID 2023, period, and double click on it. Now I already have the Prusa slicer here, but look and see what it looks like. All right, so it looks pretty good to me. All right, good work.